Hey booktubers, so I'm here today to do my reading update video, and instead of it being a weekly read video, it's actually going to be encompassing what I've read over the last 2 weeks, since that's how long it's been since I did my last update. And I'm also trying to get accustomed to working with a new camera, which I'm not comfortable with having it like right in my face. It feels very strange. So forgive me. Hopefully by the next time I do a video I will be more comfortable with it. And also forgive me for looking down continuously, but that's where I have my notes. So there you go. Okay, let's get started. The first book I read was Graffiti Moon by Kath Crowley. And this book is set in Australia, and it is about a girl named Lucy who is obsessed with meeting this graffiti artist named Shadow. And the whole book takes place over the course of one night, and her and her girlfriends hook up with these guys, one of whom is this kid named Ed, who Lucy ended up having a very, very disastrous first date with, where she accidentally broke his nose. And the guys tell them that they know who Shadow is and this other artist that he works with named Poet, and they offer to go with them to try and find them. Little does Lucy know that Shadow is actually Ed, the guy that she went on the date with. So I absolutely loved this book. Everything about it, from the characters to the storyline to the writing style to the world building to the fact that it took place over a short period of time. It was just fantastic. I flew through it in like less than a day, and she has a very unique writing style. I can't exactly pinpoint how to describe it, but it's just great. It's a very sweet, romantic story, and I believe that it was released officially in the US on February 14th, so definitely check it out because it's just such a sweet, genuinely enjoyable book. So yeah. Next up, I read A Long, Long Sleep by Anna Sheehan. And this was a young adult sci-fi book. I originally anticipated it to be a dystopian, but it's pretty much a straight up sci-fi book. Yeah, so this book is about this girl who ends up coming out of suspended animation after 62 years. And the story is about how she sort of comes to grips with trying to fit into the world around her, all the things that have changed, and not only that, but the fact that pretty much everybody she knew and, in the past is now dead, including her family and everybody, all of her friends and her boyfriend, Xavier. And I have very mixed emotions about this book because for the first half, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so interesting, and it was just great, and I couldn't stop reading it, but sort of right about the halfway point it kind of lost a little bit of steam for me. My problem was that the twist, which is why she ended up going into suspended animation so many times, or as they call it in the book, stasis, and as well as to what happened to her boyfriend, wasn't really a surprise to me because I kind of figured it out, and I was sort of hoping that they were going to go in a different direction as far as what happened to him goes. So, I mean, I didn't hate it, but it was disappointing in the end for me, so unfortunately. But yeah. Okay, so next up was Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. Now, I debated even including this book in this video because I don't know if you guys know this, but I very, very rarely give up on a book. I mean, even if I don't like it, I will try my best to try and finish it. I got about 30% into this book and I could not continue. Could not do it. For those of you who don't know, it is about a beauty pageant called, I believe it's the Miss Teen Dream pageant, and the contestants are in a plane and they crash on this supposedly deserted island. And it went from being somewhat amusing in the beginning to a little annoying to very annoying to wanting to take my Kindle and smash it up against the wall. Yeah, and it wasn't that I wasn't in the mood for it, it was just, I just could not do it. No, and there's no way I'm going to try and read it again. It's already off my Kindle. No. yeah, and it seems to be very polarizing. Either people think it's brilliant or they just hate it, and unfortunately I was in the hate section of people. So yeah. Next up, I read Possessed by Gretchen McNeil. Now, I was watching the Best of 2011 video by Danny Marks YA, and this was one of his favorite books of last year, and as soon as I heard the words Teenage Exorcist, I knew I had to read this book. And let me tell you something, I loved the hell out of this book. It was so awesome. There were genuinely creepy moments in this book, which, you know, I've been watching horror movies, and I'm a big fan of horror books, movies, what have you. And I've been watching horror movies since I was a little girl, and it takes a hell of a lot to scare me and to creep me out. There were some genuinely creepy moments in this book. The scene in the doll store. Oh my god. Yeah. I thought I was only freaked out by clown dolls because of the movie Poltergeist. No, now I have an irrational fear of porcelain dolls thanks to this book. Yeah, it was really, it was a very entertaining book. You know, again, one slight little complaint being that, you know, the ending where, you know, you find out who the bad guy was wasn't that surprising to me, because I think they went sort of the obvious route, but other than that, it was very, very enjoyable. I loved it. Okay, so the next book I read was Clarity by Kim Harrington. Don't really remember much about this book, because I read it very quickly. Wasn't very impressed by it, unfortunately. I found it to be a little silly, and I wrote, because when I'm reading a book, I usually write little notes about what I think as I'm reading it, and I wrote about this book that it reminded me of a 90210 with a slight paranormal twist. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I don't really remember very much about this book, but I didn't like it that much. It was disappointing. It was very, very quick, you know, but yeah. So the next one I tried to read was Wishlist by John Locke. This was a book that I saw on sale at work, and I have since, obviously I'm still in my reading slump. Was desperate to try and read something that I don't normally read, thinking that would snap me out of it. So I got this book because it's supposed to be a gritty detective story. No. Horrible. Hated it. Didn't like it. Whatever. Okay. Next book was Incarnate by Jodi Meadows. Again, sort of like with A Long, Long Sleep, I ended up being really disappointed with certain aspects of this book. The concept was phenomenal. It was completely unique, it's about this girl who, this society where everybody is reincarnated, but when you're reincarnated, you retain memories of your past lives. So technically there's all of these people who are thousands of years old, and people are born, one time they're born a male, next time they're born female, but they retain basically the same personality, and it's this little like society of all these people until one day this girl is born, and she's called a new soul because she's never been, you know, she's brand new, she's not reincarnated as someone else. And it starts with her going off, leaving this house and into the woods to try and make her way to this town called Hart to try and figure out why she was born, you know what her purpose is. And she ends up being attacked, and she gets saved by this person named Sam. And yeah, so it's sort of, the story goes from there. And one of the my favorite aspect of this book, which is like really it's kind of creepy, but it's really awesome at the same time. It's like just twisted enough to impress me, is that each one of the things about the people who are reincarnated is that they have to take care of their own graves. So when, you know, this girl her name is Anna, she is taken to Sam's cabin in the woods. His cabin actually borders this little cemetery, which is full of all of his previous bodies. That's so twisted. Oh my god, it's so twisted, but yet it's brilliant, and that was one of the things that I loved about the story. However, after the build-up and you knew what was going on, everything that sort of led up to the ending, it just seemed like it took forever. It was just dragging on and on and on, and the love story between Sam and Anna was like really sweet, but it didn't go anywhere for the longest time. And the ending itself was well done, and I will read the next book in the series, but the whole middle part was what aggravated me. Yeah, but such a great idea, and it pissed me off because, like I said, it was such a brilliant idea that kind of lost its way for a little while, but ended up ending strong. So yeah, okay, so finally the last thing that I've read, which I just finished yesterday, is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. Yes, I finally read the second book in the Hunger Games series. It's taken me forever. I've started that book so many times, you have no idea, you guys. Finally read it. As I read like 70% of it sitting in the auto repair shop waiting for my car to be repaired yesterday. So I don't know if maybe I was just in a pissy mood because I was spending money having my car repaired yet again, but didn't like it as much as the first book. Didn't really like it. The ending I thought was interesting, but really depressing. And I know, something being depressing about the Hunger Games series. Go figure. Yeah, I mean, but it was good. It was, I liked the parts leading up to the second time in the arena. I liked the fact that we got to see sort of glimpses into what happened with Haymitch when he was in the Hunger Games. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy it as much as the first book. So yeah, but I'm proud of myself for finally finishing it. Yeah, I wanted to at least have the second book done before I went to see the movie when it comes out next month. So yeah. Okay, so that pretty much is it. That's all the books that I've read over the last 2 weeks. As for what I'm reading now, well, I started rereading Poughkeepsie by Deborah Anastasia because of Valentine's Day, and I don't know, because I've just been having such a hard time getting into any books, you guys. It's terrible. Either I just can't get into them, or I don't like them, or I read a little bit of it and I lose interest and I put it down. I can't stand it when I get in these moods. They don't usually last this long. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so I've been reading that a little bit, and then I also started Between by Jennifer Wasserman. I don't have my Kindle with me. It was kind of stupid of me to do this video without my Kindle, but yeah, I believe that's her name. If not, I apologize. But yeah, that's okay so far, but I'm like, it's really early on in the book, so who knows? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so I have no idea as far as what I'm going to try and read. As of now, anything that will hold my interest. That's pretty much the criteria for me for the following week. Yeah, anything that will just hold my interest, and hopefully by the time I do my video next week, I will be out of this slump and I'll have a whole bunch of awesome books to tell you about. Because yeah, this past couple weeks, man, it's not been good. How many books did I read? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, I read 8 books over 2 weeks, and I think I genuinely only enjoyed 2 books out of 8. I mean, I liked Incarnate, but it kind of annoyed me, certain things, but yeah, genuinely like 2 books out of 8 over 2 weeks. What is the deal with that? Yeah, okay. Alright, that's it. I'm done. Okay, so as always, book recommendations are always welcome, and I will talk to you guys later, you guys, and happy reading.